What if I told you that one of Hollywood's brightest stars was once overshadowed by a scandalous scene, and the consequences of it nearly destroyed her career? Lisa Bonet, beloved for her role as Denise Huxtable, was pushed to the brink in a film that nearly broke her. While her co-star's controversial method acting earned him praise, Bonet found herself vilified, misunderstood, and silenced. But here's the shocking part. That emotional toll wasn't the end of her story. It was just the beginning. From the set of Angel Heart to her public separation from Jason Momoa, Bonet's journey has been anything but ordinary. What secrets has she been hiding all these years, and why is she finally ready to speak her truth now? Stick around, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about Lisa Bonet's Hollywood legacy. At 57, Lisa Bonet shatters decades of silence with revelations that reframe her storied past and mark a turning point in the narrative of Hollywood's relentless power plays, as she dissects the dark intricacies of her breakthrough role in a film that nearly cost her everything. In a raw confession that pulses with the urgency of a secret too long kept, she exposes how a system built on exploitation and masked ambition coerced her into enduring experiences she never chose willingly. And as the curtain is finally lifted on these painful memories, her voice, both defiant and vulnerable, carries a powerful hook that seizes attention from the very first word. In recounting the story, Bonet draws striking comparisons between her meteoric rise as a fresh-faced talent and the ensuing betrayal by an industry that revered her boldness, only to quietly punish her for stepping beyond the confines of its sanitized image. Her once luminous career, defined by daring performances and celebrated milestones, was gradually eclipsed by contracts woven with hidden traps and the suffocating pressures of a studio system whose silent edicts left her feeling isolated and voiceless. In one moment of electrifying revelation, she recalls the day when the pressure transformed from vague suggestion into overt control, as she was forced to accept ambiguous terms that masked coercion as opportunity. A moment that would haunt her career and personal life in equal measure, and serve as a powerful hook for anyone hungry for the truth behind the glamour. Alongside the personal narrative of betrayal and survival, the script shifts seamlessly into an incisive financial analysis that lays bare the paradox of Hollywood stardom. The juxtaposition of creative brilliance with a labyrinth of fiscal excess and luxury assets. Bonet's journey is not only marked by artistic highs and crushing disappointments, but also by a reality where high-end lifestyles and strategic investments play a defining role in reshaping public personas. The narrative weaves in details of a life punctuated by the gleam of luxury sports cars, the meticulous selection of high-end timepieces, and the opulent real estate holdings that speak to a legacy built on both passion and profit. These symbols of affluence, a fleet of meticulously maintained luxury vehicles, sophisticated watches chosen for their design and precision, sprawling properties in exclusive enclaves, and even a coveted private jet to navigate a world of opportunity, all coalesce into a portrait of wealth that stands in stark contrast to the cruelty of early exploitation. Interwoven throughout this evocative tale are at least 5 powerful hooks that punctuate the narrative. One where the shocking revelations are delivered with cinematic intensity, another where Bonet's courageous confrontation with her past invites a collective gasp from an audience longing for honesty, a third hook laced with the promise of uncovering the hidden financial strategies behind celebrity success, a fourth that teases the viewer with the intimate details of the high-stakes world of insurance and business deals, and a final hook that dares the observer to consider how one can rise from the ashes of cinematic betrayal to craft a legacy of financial independence and unyielding personal reinvention. As the story unfolds, we learn that behind each lavish asset lies a strategic decision, a combination of shrewd business investments, high-profile collaborations with industry giants, and entrepreneurial ventures that have redefined the trajectory of her career. Her financial journey is a testament to resilience and innovation, offering viewers a masterclass in turning adversity into opportunity. In candid detail, the narrative explores how Bonet's early contract not only robbed her of agency on set, but also set in motion a series of financial consequences that would later influence her approach to wealth management and business deals, reinforcing the idea that every decision in Hollywood has layers of risk and reward. Her story becomes a fascinating case study of how a celebrated figure leverages personal loss. Of real estate is not merely a status symbol, but a carefully chosen asset in a diversified portfolio that includes significant stakes in successful ventures and robust personal and business insurance policies designed to safeguard her evolving legacy. Bonet's approach to handling her finances, from negotiating complex contracts to securing her future with strategic insurance policies for health, career, and high-value assets, offers key financial lessons for anyone striving to build wealth in an unpredictable industry. These lessons underscore the necessity of comprehensive planning, the importance of understanding contractual fine print, and the transformative power of reinvesting in one's own potential. As she reflects on the cost of rebellion in a world dominated by a relentless demand for conformity, her narrative pulses with both regret and triumph, a paradox that makes her journey all the more riveting. Viewers are left to marvel at the audacity of a woman who refused to be boxed in by the sterile confines of a predetermined image, who transformed personal pain into a beacon of empowerment and financial acumen. With each revelation, the script pushes boundaries and invites the audience to question the familiar narrative of Hollywood stardom, urging them to see beyond the veneer of glitz and glamour to the strategic decisions that underlie every shimmering success story. And while the echoes of past exploitation resonate through her memories, they serve as a rallying cry for change and a reminder that the path to true reinvention is paved with both bitter truths and visionary insights. Ultimately, the narrative of Lisa Bonet emerges as not only a chronicle of personal defiance, but also a masterfully detailed exploration of luxury, finance, and the relentless pursuit of autonomy. A tale that captivates, educates, and leaves audiences with the compelling promise of more revelations to come. Bonet's time on the set of Angel Heart was a turning point in her career, one where the industry's double standards became glaringly evident. While co-stars like Mickey Rourke were celebrated for their method acting and gritty dedication, Bonet's performance was overshadowed by the controversy of a single scene. Her role in that film, vulnerable and emotionally taxing, was reduced to nothing more than a scandal. The media did not see the depth of her craft, only the controversy surrounding her character. Meanwhile, Rourke's commitment was lauded, and his career continued its upward trajectory. But for Bonet, this experience was not just about being in a provocative scene. It was about being misunderstood and pushed into silence. What was supposed to be an empowering role ended up becoming a professional and emotional burden. Despite the recognition that Rourke received for his performance, Bonet found herself sidelined, criticized for embracing a role that was outside the boundaries of her previously established image. Hollywood's treatment of her was a stark reminder of the industry's lack of support for women who dared to push against the expectations placed upon them. Yet, in spite of these struggles, she found strength in her own voice, eventually stepping away from the spotlight to focus on her personal life, her family, and, most importantly, her spiritual growth. This shift in focus didn't mean an end to her career, but rather a reinvention. By the time she married Jason Momoa and raised their 2 children, Bonet had solidified her identity as more than just a former child star. Her fashion choices reflected this transformation, embracing a bohemian style that spoke to her individuality and rejection of mainstream trends. As she matured, she became a symbol of the power of self-definition, using her platform to redefine what it means to live life authentically. But while Bonet has certainly evolved, her experiences in Hollywood continue to reflect the industry's larger issues with gender and racial inequality. Her willingness to speak out against the exploitation and mistreatment she endured during her Angel Heart days has opened a conversation about systemic issues in Hollywood. Her net worth, once focused primarily on her acting career, has evolved with her, now encompassing her business ventures and investments. As we look to the future, Bonet's continued influence in Hollywood and beyond will only grow, paving the way for others to follow her lead.